Did the person seem credible? I mean, what was the? I mean, did you get a real vibe?
Absolutely. And this person has agreed to come forward, and I think probably because a lot of stigmatization, like you said, is kind of waning a bit. I said, would you be willing to talk to me? And he said, what are they going to do to me now? And he's like, yeah, let's sit down and let's chat. And I think a lot of that was because people were kind of sitting back to see what would happen to people like Grush, and it's a green light now.
Yeah, I think if you're going to come forward with something like that, you almost have to have a plan to figure out how you're going to handle the hate. We've heard from so many people who have come forward with claims that they've even had death threats. It's interesting, Ben, U.S. Senate just passed the National Defense Authorization Act, and in it, there's a UAP Disclosure Act. This just happened that establishes an agency to gather UAP records. So it does seem like progress. And again, even if you're a skeptic, it's not like I'm telling anyone to believe in UFOs. I'm a skeptic, too. I think we should all be skeptical about everything, but we should know what's going on, right? I mean, if people are reporting things and there's photos, it seems like a step forward, this act that the Senate passed.
Well, the act hasn't actually passed yet, from my understanding, but we've got a little bit ahead of us to go. And I rely on other people who had time to analyze this because, like you said, it just came out. Dean Johnson on Twitter does a lot of this analysis. And what he's been able to do is to show how it's still got to go to another committee, so a House-Senate joint committee, to review what the different versions are, and then it will go back to them to sign it, to vote on it, go to the president. But some of the key provisions that were still in there as of right now would be the government has eminent domain over the ownership of recovered technologies of unknown origin, biological evidence. So the government still wants to be able to retain those things if they exist. We also have the defunding of any UAP reverse engineering program if it was not declared to the committee. And so they're basically saying, you come out now and you tell us what you're working on, or we're going to defund you. And then also a lot of funding for Arrow so they can continue going. So a lot of good stuff. We hope those provisions stay in there when it passes.
Yeah, based on the testimony yesterday, though, these shadow programs that possibly exist, it sounds like they're funded in secret anyway, though. They sort of add on additional expenses to other programs, and then they have the money secretly for the secret program. So I wonder, even if this passes through all the way and is signed off by the president, could they still get away with this if it's actually happening?
And that's a great question and concern, and I think that's why they dug in and asking, David Grush, and saying, hey, can you confirm that this is happening? What is the mechanism by where they're funding themselves? And he says, well, I'll talk about that in a skiff. But what I did confirm was that it basically is happening where they're overcharging their contracts. The government contracts are then siphoning that money, which is misappropriation of funds, which squarely lands in the responsibility of the Oversight Committee to know about this and to have that access to find out, where these funds are going and why they're being lied to in Congress.
In terms of pilots being more comfortable coming forward, you've been talking to pilots who are sharing their stories now at this convention. There's not a government system where they can log in and post pictures or post what they saw. Doesn't seem like there's anyone tracking it. But from what I understand, you're creating an app. There's some work being done sort of on the nonprofit side.
There is a for-profit company that I've been, consulting with that started up called Enigma, and they have an app that we're hoping to capture all civilian reports, not just pilots. But on the pilot side, you're right. You can go to the FAA regs right now, and the FAA says either go, report to a civilian agency or call local law enforcement if life or property is in danger. You're flying at 20,000 feet and you see a UFO, let's say a disc that's hovering close to your craft. When you land, do you think they're really going to go call the local police? And what are they going to do about it? Right. So it's very inconsistent. There's no real follow-up. I think that the system kind of needs to be overhauled, and they need to understand that they have protections for that reporting. And that's why people such as Ryan Graves, with his organization, we've been discussing things on how that can be revamped.
Well, it certainly seems like progress is happening. Hopefully there will be a system where these pilots can report what they see, whatever it is, so they can start keeping track of it. Ben Hansen, thank you so much for coming on again tonight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.